Namaste, kia ora, and warm greetings. It's our absolute pleasure to welcome you to the very first cultural celebration in this amazing new home of the Indian High Commission in New Zealand. This permanent home marks the beginning of a new chapter for the Indian High Commission, demonstrating its commitment to New Zealand and the importance of this bilateral relationship. We are here to celebrate this historical moment in the history of India-New Zealand relationship as proud Kiwi Indians. What an occasion. On behalf of the Indian diaspora, we wish to thank the Government of India for investing in New Zealand and establishing a permanent presence that many of us can call home, home away from home. Thank you to His Excellency Muktesh Pardeshi and your team at the High Commission once again. I am Mrs. Prabha Ravi and I have with me Mr. Ishant Gulyani. We are delighted to be your MCs for the evening.
Kia ora kātou, namaste and good evening everyone. On behalf of the High Commission of India, I again welcome you all to our new premises. Let me share a few house rules with you. The toilets are behind you on the right. Exits are from the main entrance, which is again behind you, and follow the exit signs. In case of earthquake, please drop, cover and hold. In case of evacuation, the assembly point is right outside the adjoining building, which is Royal Thai Embassy. May I invite His Excellency Mr. Muktesh Pardeshi, Mrs. Rakhi Pardeshi, His Worship Andy Foster, Mayor of Wellington, Ms. Nicole Robertson, Divisional Manager from MFAD, Dean of Diplomatic Corps, His Excellency Lisi Papali Tommy Scanlon, former Governor General of New Zealand, Right Honourable Sir Anand Satyana, Member of Parliament Greg O'Connor, Honourable Consul of India in Auckland, Mr. Bhav Dillon, and Mr. Narendra Bhana, President of New Zealand Indian Central Association, to the stage to light up the lamp, which will be followed by a group photo. Now, national anthems of New Zealand and India will be played, so we request you to all please stand up.
𝐿
You may be seated now. Thank you, everyone.
Cultural performances are normally a big part of celebration at Indian events. It's an opportunity to showcase the rich art, culture, and heritage of India. A happy occasion like this is no exception and is certainly a time for us to celebrate with some beautiful performances. We have an amazing lineup of classical, folk, and Bollywood dances by very talented local Indian artists in Wellington. We start today's celebration with a classical Bharatanatyam performance by the dancers of Mudra Dance Academy. Mudra Dance Academy was established over 30 years by renowned dance guru Sri 𝐿 and has presented over 40 graduation arangetrams during this period. The senior dancers of this academy form Mudra Dance Company, which is the premier Indian dance company in New Zealand. This evening, Mudra dancers Banu, Esther, Lekha, Mahita, and Riya will perform Pushpanjali, which is the offering of flowers by the dancers. This is followed by prayers offered to Lord Shiva. Here, Lord Shiva is described as Nataraja, the cosmic dancer. The dance is choreographed by Sri 𝐿. Mudra Dance Academy.
Namaskar, 𝐾𝐽. My warmest greetings to all of you, and especially His Worship Mayor Andy Foster, former Governor General Sir Anand Satyanand, Dean of Diplomatic Corps, His Excellency Leasi Papali Scanlon, and all colleagues from the Diplomatic Corps, Honorable Member of Parliament, Mr. Greg O'Connor, who is also the co-chair of Parliamentary Friendship Group on South Asia, former members of Parliament, Mr. K.S. Bakshi, Mr. Mahesh Bindra, Mr. Rodney Harris, Chief of Protocol, and Ms. Nicole Roberton, Divisional Manager representing Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade, Army Chief Major General John Oswell, Navy Chief Rear Admiral David Proctor, former High Commissioners to India Graham Waters, Jan Henderson and Joanna Kimkers, Honorary Consul of India in Auckland, Mr. Bhav Dhillon, President of New Zealand Indian Central Association, Mr. Narendra Bhana, all office bearers of Indian associations, and there are several, and all distinguished guests. My wife and I are most happy to welcome you to our new premises, and thank you for joining us in blessing the new High Commission building with your gracious presence. With a housewarming ceremony done on 5th June in the presence of Hindu and other interfaith prayers leaders, these new surroundings were sanctified. Today's event is to present the new premises with a brief cultural evening. This is indeed a momentous day for all of us. It's a landmark development in the history of India-New Zealand relations. It's a proud day for all Indians living in New Zealand. And at a personal level, I feel happy that it's a job well done. The High Commission team and I have dreamt of this day for a long. The completion of this building is a story of resilience against all odds. Most of the construction works were accomplished during the last 2.5 years, during which we witnessed all kinds of disruptions, lockdowns, supply challenges, labor shortages, COVID-19 infections, delays, and huge cost overruns. The land and construction costs now amount to approximately $90 million. No technical team from India could travel to give us on-site guidance and assistance. But we rose to the challenge, and here we are. This building is a testimony of resolute partnership and our collective determination to do it. In this endeavor, we have been supported by New Zealand's two leading companies, Warren and Mahoney, who won the design contest in 2009, and since then have served as architects and construction management consultants. Mr. John Coop, Managing Director, and his team is here, and I would like to acknowledge their presence today. McIfail constructors laid their construction work since September 2019. Again, I would like to acknowledge the presence of Mr. Maurice Clark, Managing Director, and his team members. I would like to recognize the commitment and professional services rendered by these to top companies in delivering the project in spite of many hurdles. Friends, India became independent in 1947. This year, as we mark 75 years of our independence, this building is a befitting tribute to India's progress as the largest democracy and a rising economy. We are also marking the 7 decades of diplomatic relations with New Zealand. 70 years ago, on 7th April 1952, India's first High Commissioner, who was then resident in Canberra, Mr. 𝐾𝐳𝐳 presented his credentials to New Zealand Governor General Lord Freyberg. We had already established a trade commission in 1950, which functioned from 49 Willis Street. Since then, it has been a dream for the Government of India to have its own piece of land and construct a purpose-built chancery. Coincidentally, our building number is 72, which is a testimony of India's official presence in New Zealand for the last 72 years. The construction of chancery and 11 residences for officers and staff on a plot which was purchased in March 2009 began in October 2016. The construction work was awarded to Messrs. 𝐴𝐵𝐻 Construction and was to be delivered by July 2019. Unfortunately, 𝐴𝐵𝐻 went into bankruptcy with effect from August 2018, leaving the project abandoned for more than a year. One of the prime tasks for me when I arrived in Wellington on 29 July 2019 was to restart the work. Within the first 2 days of my arrival, a contract was awarded to McAfee Constructors. The construction work resumed in September 2019 with the completion date set to be March 2021. However, due to COVID-19 related restrictions and other delays, the project completion date was shifted many times and finally completed on 2nd June this month. The building is an environmentally friendly building, allowing natural light to permeate in all corners. It is proudly located within the parliamentary precinct, surrounded by many important public buildings. The Pipitea street where we are located is one of the early streets in Wellington. While glancing through the local history, I find that the first Wellington Public Hospital was established on this street in 1847, signifying the importance of this locality within the Central Business District in Wellington. As one walks through the magnificent building, one gets impressed by its grandeur, functionality, and architectural features, combining the best of Indian and Tibetan traditions. The site's square shape has allowed for traditional planning principles of a building, including a centralized courtyard offering a naturally lit space for gatherings for around 300 people. The building is constructed of colored concrete, marble, glass, and metal. The incorporation of tracery screens of metal on the facade emit and soften light while providing protection to offices and apartments. The incorporation of a jali, which means net, stands out in the atrium and fosters a unique Indian identity. This form of architectural decoration is common in Indian architecture. Pink natural sandstone was brought from Rajasthan for stone cladding. In the corner of the atrium, you will find a single tree, chinar, which is a large deciduous tree. This tree is considered a living heritage of Kashmir. Your presence and blessings today will bring good fortune and prosperity. This blessed space will play a pivotal role in enhancing political, economic, cultural, and people-to-people links between India and New Zealand in the years to come. May the India-New Zealand relationship, which had seen 7 decades, grow bigger, wider, and higher like this building. Friends, this evening, my wife and I would like to share the news of our imminent departure from New Zealand. At the conclusion of our tenure and 2 postings abroad in a row, first as Ambassador of India to Mexico and then High Commissioner to New Zealand, we will be returning to Delhi sometime next month to take up an assignment at the Ministry of External Affairs. Saying goodbyes are always tough. What is important though is that we are leaving on a very happy note. In spite of COVID-19 related challenges and unexpected limitations on all diplomats, the last 3 years have been full of activities and achievements in India-New Zealand relations. On a personal level, our stay in New Zealand has been full of warmth, goodwill, and memories. We feel sad at departing, but at the same time gratified that our stay has been fulfilling. This would not have been possible without the fullest support from all of you, from the New Zealand government, diplomatic corps, the business community, cultural organizations, the Indian community, media, and my own team at the High Commission. So big thank you. We would like to remain in touch through several electronic and social media channels. We will be delighted to see you in Delhi if you happen to travel to India. As I conclude, Manaki Fenua, Manaki Tangata, Haire Pakamua. Care for the land, care for the people, move forward. Friends, it's time to move on. Many thanks and wish you a pleasant evening at India's new home in Wellington. Thank you very much.
I would like to invite His Worship the Mayor of Wellington, Andy Foster, to address the audience, please.
Namaste, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. It's an honour to say a few words as the Mayor of the city. Muktesh, thank you for your wonderful words, and it's, I could see the pride that you have in what has been achieved here. And it's just an honour to be able to follow you and saying a few words to our gathering here. The recognitions have largely been done. I think one other recognition I'd like to make is to my deputy there, Sarah Free, who's here in the front row of the audience as well, with her husband Ross. So, but to recognise you all, dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, it is great to have you along here to share this really, really important day. Congratulations, Muktesh Raki, to the whole of the team here at the Indian High Commission on getting to this stage. And the building is just absolutely magnificent. And can I join also in congratulating Warren and Marnie for the work that's been done. The design is just, it's a beautiful, beautiful building. The spaces, I mean, just the little bits that we've seen so far are beautiful spaces. I can see how the light will flow into the atrium out there. It just looks absolutely magnificent. I think you can be so proud of the design. It's obviously been a long, long road to get to this point, but you've stuck with it, and I think you can be immensely proud of what you've achieved. And Morris, you too, I mean, you have contributed so much to so many wonderful buildings around our city, and I thank you for all of that work. But today I thank you for the work that you have done in coming on and rescuing this project after 𝐷𝐵 obviously sadly went into liquidation, that you've come along and you've rescued this project, and I think you can be immensely proud, you and your team, of the work that's been done. So if we can please give all of the I've seen the new building described as the hub of the Indian diaspora in Wellington, and I think that description is very apt. Of course, we've got a really big, important centre out in Kilburn, haven't we, Deepak? So that's very, very important too. But this is a place which will be a place where India stands tall as part of our community here in Wellington and in New Zealand. And I do sympathise with you around the cost overruns and the time overruns. I think many of us, it's actually quite a relief in some ways to hear other people say they've been through the same kind of pain that we go through from time to time, and we know that it is shared across both the public sector and the private sector, so it's universal, so that's a good thing. We just need to make sure that our media understand that sometimes. And I know this space here is going to be a space which is going to be available to the Indian community, and I think that will really make it a hub, a place that the community can come together and celebrate that proud culture, that mix of cultures that you have from the subcontinent of India. Our Indian community, actually I'll just step back one to say, I also want to recognise all of the diplomatic community who are here, and I did say that recognitions have been done, but I do want to recognise the diplomatic community who are here, and to say that you play such an important role collectively in our capital city, and it's a real pleasure and a privilege to work with you, to meet with you. You're a wonderful group of people. And I also want to recognise that the contribution that you make to your own diasporas, if you like, in our community. And Muktesh, there is nobody who does that. Well, actually, I'm going to be careful about making comparisons. But you do that so beautifully. And we've shared so many occasions out in Kilburn with the Indian community here, and so I thank you for that and the influence that you have had and the support that you give to the Indian community here. The Indian community is a really important part of our diverse, inclusive community across Aotearoa, New Zealand, but also particularly in Wellington. About 10% of the people who identify as Indian in Aotearoa, New Zealand live in Wellington, and we're proud to have you all here as part of our community. And there is a really strong community of Indian expats in Wellington who network to ensure that they get the best experience that our city has to offer. In 2019, 240,000 people of Indian ethnicity in New Zealand, that's according to the census, made up 5% of our population. That's up from 2% in 2001, so it's a growing, strong population. And the contribution that Indian migrants made economically to New Zealand is a success story. $10 billion to our economy in 2019. So that is a massive contribution that the Indian community makes. And in Wellington, the Indian community has become and is a vital and growing part of our community. As a council, we're proud to support many of the activities that the Indian community puts together, particularly Diwali, the Festive Lights, and of course it was lovely to light the candles here just a few moments ago, which is Wellington's local Indian and Southeast Asian community's most vibrant cultural celebration. And I'd like also to recognise the work of the Wellington Indian Cultural Association and acknowledge the fantastic work they've done here since being formed in 1925. That's a long heritage of service to the Indian community and to the wider community in Wellington. Wellington is a better, more vibrant place because of the work that you do and the cultural diversity that you bring for residents and visitors alike. Muktesh, you've already recognised that today, that this year marks the 75th anniversary of Indian independence. So this is a significant time, and it's great to have this place here this year. Maybe it was meant to be. Also, just wanted to recognise that one of the leaders who helped India gain independence, and of course we celebrate that too, and we've stood together in celebrating that, is Mahatma Gandhi. And of course we have his statue here just in front of the Wellington railway station. Mahatma Gandhi is recognised and celebrated in Wellington by that statue, and of course we celebrate his day every year. It shows him dressed in his characteristic loincloth and holding his staff. It's a life-size sculpture made in bronze by Indian sculptor 𝐿. Despite his diminutive stature, he stood just 1.65 metres. Mahatma Gandhi was a giant of a man who remains the inspiration around the world. And I think often we look back at the kind of things that he said and we treasure the wisdom that was in his words. And as he once said, strength does not come from physical capacity, it comes from an indomitable will. And I guess that is a recognition of the work that has gone into making this building and this open today. An indomitable will that said, no is not the right answer. Through failures of building companies, through COVID, through thick and through thin, we're going to have this building as a proud centre, the Indian High Commission, a proud centre of Indian culture in this place. And to quote another wisdom from Mahatma Gandhi, relationships are based on 4 principles: respect, understanding, acceptance and appreciation. And I hope that this is something we all feel being here together. The fact that we're gathered together here to celebrate this day is saying all of those things: respect, understanding, acceptance and appreciation. These principles are the heart of Wellington's relationship with the Indian High Commission, and we look forward, even if you go, and we will miss you, to making our mutual appreciation and our mutual relationship even stronger. Again, congratulations on the official opening of this amazing, beautiful building, and enjoy the rest of this special evening. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa.
I would like to invite Ms. Nicole Robertson, Divisional Manager, South and Southeast Asia from MFAT, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade, to say a few words.
Ina mana, ina reo, ina hoe wha, ngā mihi kia koutou katoa. Namaste. Your Excellency, High Commissioner, friends, the recognitions have already been done, but what I did want to do was look out to the extent that I can see through the very bright lights. It's tough up here, yeah. And say what an enormous honour it is to be here. You have filled the room, High Commissioner, and in this joy-filled building, to have so many people here tonight, I already have the feeling that you will fill this room over and over and over again with not just the dignitaries that we have here in front of us, but all of you. So congratulations on a room that is already filled with spirit. On behalf of the New Zealand Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade, it is my privilege to make a few brief remarks on the occasion of the opening of this building. While tonight we are here ostensibly to celebrate the opening of this wonderful new building, we're actually celebrating so much more than that. We are in fact celebrating the relationship between India and New Zealand. From our 7 decades, and now I know it's exactly 72 years, from our 7 decades of diplomatic relations with India, we have recognised that our countries share many qualities. We are 2 modern, diverse democracies who are strongly driven by values. We have some fundamental commonalities, in particular, our strong desire for peace and prosperity in our region and beyond, our commitment to the rule of law internationally and the international institutions that underpin them, and our concern for global challenges such as climate change. Now, more than ever, in a time of increasing geopolitical challenge, New Zealand sees India as a relationship of paramount importance. It is one we want to deepen and to strengthen. And we have plans to do just that. With the final phase of New Zealand's border reopening underway, we are really excited to advance our planning for high-level visits in both directions this year, as well as taking forward a number of other initiatives, including cooperation in areas like defence and security. Next week, senior officials from both the Indian and New Zealand governments will be convening in Delhi to hold the first face-to-face foreign ministry consultations since 2019 and the first trade and economic dialogue in many, many years. I heard the number $10 billion contribution to our economy just before. We know we can grow this and we can have New Zealand and India go from strength to strength. It's exciting with the normalisation of international borders to see momentum returning. We really look forward to to working together with the Indian government to broaden our relationship across many spheres: cultural, sporting, defence and security, and economic. Tonight is also, perhaps most importantly, the opportunity to acknowledge the immense contribution of New Zealand's sizable and diverse Indian origin communities, both those who have been here for many generations and those who have more recently made New Zealand their home. Many of you here tonight are amongst those making enormous contributions in business, the arts, sport, politics, and adding to New Zealand's diversity. As we look to the future, our society will form the platform of who we are as a nation, and our Indian diaspora is at the heart of that. Your Excellency, please allow me to offer our congratulations on the opening of this fabulous new building, and best wishes to you and your hard-working team as you settle into your new surrounds. On a very personal note, we are so sorry that you are leaving, but we do wish you well in your new role. We hope it's a role that keeps us connected, and can I say, what a monument to you here at number 72. Kia ora.
Thank you, Nicole. Our next presentation is another classical Bharatanatyam performance by graduates of Nataraj School of Dance. Nataraj School of Dance is a well-established and reputed Indian classical dance school based in Lower Hutt, specializing in Bharatanatyam training for the past 23 years. Several students have graduated from the school and are regular performers at various iconic festivals and events across the wider Wellington region and beyond. Today, the school will present an invocatory dance in praise of Lord Ganesha, the elephant-headed god, who is believed to be the remover of all obstacles by the Hindus. The dance is choreographed by Mrs. Prabha Ravi, founder and creative director of Nataraj School of Dance. The dancers are Madhusha, Radha, Sai Nitya, and Samhita. This dance will be performed for a live music by very talented musicians from Wellington and Auckland. The dance will be followed by a classical musical presentation by the orchestra team for a song composed by Patnam Subramania Iyer in praise of Lord Rama, set to Radham Kathana Kutukalam. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Nataraj School of Dance and the orchestra team.
𝐿𝐴𝐶𝐶𝐶𝐶𝐶𝐶𝐶
Saket on the veena, Avinash on the mridangam, Ikram on the tabla, Natuvangam by Mrs. Prabha Ravi, and the vocalists are Aishwarya, Gayatri, Jayasudha. Let's give them a round of applause for the performance.
Right Honourable Sir Anand Satyanand, former Governor General of New Zealand, to say a few words, please.
Excellency, High Commissioner for India to New Zealand, Mukesh Pardeshi and Mrs. Pardeshi, Dean of the Diplomatic Corps, Papali'i Leasi Tommy Scanlon and Mrs. Scanlon, High Commissioner for Samoa, High Commissioners, Ambassadors and representatives of other legations. Your Worship the Mayor of Wellington, Andy Foster, Member of Parliament Greg O'Connor, Consul General Mark Dillon, Indian Association representatives, distinguished guests otherwise, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste, Namaskar, Sat Sri Akal, Salam Alaikum, 𝐏𝐻𝐸𝐴, Kia ora koutou. I thank you for the opportunity, Excellency, to add a few words on the auspicious occasion of the opening of this handsome new building. This month of June in 2022 has provided a number of opportunities to celebrate 70-year anniversaries. A fortnight ago called for congratulations being addressed to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth for her reign. As we have heard, it is also some 70 years or so since the Government of India began a diplomatic connection with New Zealand. Our two countries are separated by great distance, and there is a huge difference in relative size and population. However, membership of the Commonwealth, a commitment to the rule of law, complementary legal, banking and parliamentary systems, and continuance of democracy make for a community of interest between India and New Zealand that has lasted and shows no sign of abating. It seems fitting for this year and this month to be marked with the opening of this handsome building. One feature of the 70 years has been growth in the number of people of Indian origin who have made Aotearoa, New Zealand, their home. People of Indian origin, as His Worship the Mayor said, now make up 5% of this country's population, with the number now approaching 250,000 such people. The increase has been marked, notably since the 1980s. It is to be noted that Indian New Zealanders are the fastest growing Kiwi ethnic group and are the second largest group of New Zealand Asians. The establishment of this building, while primarily representing the interests of the Indian government and its business, is also a point of reference for a great many Indo-New Zealanders. Over the years, picking up that point of reference, the Indian High Commission has occupied much visited locations in the former Lamp House Chambers at 49 Willis Street, then at 180 Molesworth Street nearby, most latterly at Ranchod Towers in Lambton Quay. Each of those premises have had the High Commission of India as a tenant. This building today is a place where the High Commission is the proprietor. It is a handsome structure in a location where there are, as near neighbours, a number of other legations and embassies. About the building itself, I note that there is a best-selling book available in many Wellington retailers at the moment called Wellington Architecture, a walking guide by John Walsh. It highlights in print and photographs about 150 buildings in central Wellington which are of notable architectural merit or attention. It seems remarkable that no embassy or high commission features in the lineup in that book. But I want to suggest that in the event of a further edition, that position will change because of the handsome addition of the premises where we gather this evening. High Commissioner and ladies and gentlemen, I hope that my reference to history, to connection between India and New Zealand, to the numbers of people of Indian origin in our country's demography, and links with this building make clear my enthusiasm and support for what has been achieved here. Congratulations, Dhanbad, ngā mihi atu, tēnā koutou katoa.
Namaste, kia ora, Sat Sri Akal, 𝐾𝐚𝐥, and all other greetings. First of all, I would like to acknowledge the presence of His Excellency Mr. Muktesh Pardeshi and his wife, Madam Rakhi Pardeshi. His Excellency, the former Governor General of New Zealand, Sir Anand Satyanand, and Mayor Andy Foster, all members of the diplomatic corps here, and all members of Parliament, current and former, and not to miss all the community leaders and diaspora members who are here, especially the large contingent that has come from Auckland, and I am one of them. I came this afternoon or evening by plane from Auckland, and I bring along with me the greetings and pride. I think bucket loads of pride. I was thinking, what is the right way to measure? What's the measure of pride? By I couldn't find one. But I think I brought a lot of pride along with me from the 200,000 strong diaspora in Auckland, and I wanted to convey that to His Excellency and to everyone in the room, that everyone in Auckland, all our leaders and members, are absolutely elated at this great addition to the India-New Zealand relationship. A little bit going back in time, I clearly remember the many conversations we've had in the past years when this building was a piece of land, then hope started emerging, and today we are standing here in this magnificent building, which definitely will be part of the book you call about Wellington architecture. And whosoever I've spoken to when I come here, if I ever take a taxi here and tell them 72, I only tell them Pipitea Street, and they look at me, the new Indian High Commission. I said, oh yeah. So they look at my face and they say, that's where he's going, to Pipitea Street. And they always tell me that this is the biggest and the best. So I'm quite happy to, enjoy that moment of having that little talk during my small travels around Auckland. Talking about the current building, as the High Commissioner himself said, that I vividly remember when they arrived on the 29th of July, and he himself said in 2 days they had given the new contract. And I remember talking to him, and he had not even unpacked, and he was on the job the very next day. That didn't make him very popular at home, but that's another thing. And that shows the hard work, the passion, the grit, the determination that has gone in making this building what it is today. Let's put our hands together and thank the determination of our High Commissioner and the entire team behind it, because things of this magnitude are always a great team effort. And when we talk about 72 years of relationship between India and New Zealand, sitting here I was thinking that this building is adding jet fuel to that relationship and will solidify it and form the basis and the foundation and the direction for the next 72 years of the beautiful relationship which India and New Zealand share. I now want to talk about some of our, the Indian diaspora which we have across the world, which is one of the largest. And here, as former Governor General also spoke about, that the diaspora here also is growing very fast. And this place is a real point of reference for that diaspora here. In the end, I would request one of my diaspora members to invoke the presence of our Mother India. We've got a very senior member who is well known in our Auckland circles for that, so I would request him to end the speech with some chants about our beloved Mother India. From there only.
Okay.
You are very big.
Let's talk about what Kiranji has said.
You just,
Let's be loud and clear, just along with me. Bharat Mata Ki!
Jai!
A little bit louder, I can see that. I'm louder than you.
Let's energize the room a little bit.
Bharat Mata Ki!
Jai!
Bharat Mata Ki!
Jai!
Vande!
Mataram!
Vande!
Mataram!
Jai Hind! Jai Hind! Jai Hind! Once again, Jai Hind! Jai Hind! You all!
Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you, Mr. Dillon. We now present to you a beautiful folk dance popularly known as Garba from Gujarat. Gujarat is one of the western states of India, known for its rich and vibrant festivals. Navratri, the 9-day festival, is celebrated in grandeur across the state with men, women and children performing Garba and Dandiya all evening and night during these 9 days. Today, we have the Wellington Indian Association that will give us a glimpse of Navratri, performing a Dandiya Ras. This Garba is presented by Mrs. Parita Bose and Miss Priya. Performers are Priya, Amy, Hiral, Dara and Tanvi.
भमरी 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 भमरी
That was colorful and energetic. Thank you, team, for your wonderful performance. Our second last performance is a Kathak dance, a classical dance from the north of India by Mayur Dance Academy. The academy specializes in teaching and organizing programs on the Indian dance forms of Kathak and Bharatanatyam in Wellington. Mayur Dance Academy is one of the biggest Indian dance academies in Wellington. They have classes in Wellington City, Petone and Johnsonville. They will now perform a Kathak dance that's well known for its spins. This dance has 58 spins. Dancers are Paloma, Upashana, Veda and Sudiksha. Let's welcome Mayur Dance Academy. That was amazing to see those 58 sprints by the talented young dancers. Well done, Mayur Dance Academy, and thank you for your wonderful presentation. I now invite the President of New Zealand Indian Central Association, Mr. Narendra Bana, to say a few words, please.
Good evening, everybody. Your Excellency Muktesh Padisi and Mrs. Padisi Ji, Council of India in New Zealand, Bao Dylan, Sir Anand Satyanan, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great pride and privilege, ladies and gentlemen, I stand here before you as the President of New Zealand Indian Central Association as we celebrate the grand opening of these magnificent facilities. Inauguration was completed last week with traditional Graha Pravesh Puja, which was conducted traditionally, and I'm very proud the way it was conducted. Going around these magnificent facilities, ladies and gentlemen, gives you a great sense of pride because this place is a true representation of a modern India. The place is a pride for every Indian living in New Zealand, and it is a true sense of belonging for all of us, and it is only one of a kind in the world. On behalf of New Zealand Indian Central Association, Your Excellency, I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate you on the success completion of this magnificent project. I know that you have had several sleepless nights, and we could feel your pain all the way in Auckland. So we thank you very much for what you have done for Indian community in New Zealand. Well done. Building will be just simply a brick and mortar without our people working in it and their energy and their activity. As an active member of the Auckland Indian Association for several years and now a president of New Zealand Central Indian Association, Your Excellency, I've seen your office deliver the best of the best service for people of Indian origin in New Zealand. Your office has not only met our expectation, but simply well and truly exceeded our expectation. So we thank you for the change you have brought to New Zealand, and something that we'll remember for a long time to come. At New Zealand Indian Association, one of our objectives is to connect people of Indian origin to the Indian High Commission to solve their various challenges, and will continuously do that. We are now aware that your tenure has come to an end, and you will be remembered for various things you have done for New Zealand community, for Indian community in New Zealand, and one of it is your smile. We wish you all the best for your future assignment, and stay well, stay blessed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bana. We've come to the last part of the show, and we are excited to conclude the cultural show with the Bolly folk. The diversity in India is unique. It is the land of many languages. Each state in India has its own unique flavors. And today, we have the Shivam Dance Academy Bollywood team showcasing the folk dance styles from a few states, namely Gujarat, Kerala, Punjab, and Maharashtra, for some popular Bollywood songs. Shivam Dance Academy is a premier Kathak and Bollywood dance school run by Mrs. Parita Bose. The academy not only helps promote Indian culture and dance, but plays an important role in youth development and mental health. Performers are Amy, Dara, Tanvi, Hiral, Vikrant, Priya, Jenny, Suresh, Vivek, Sharvari, Vineet, and Uraima. Following this, we will have all our performers today singing Te Aroha, a beautiful Maori Vayacha on love, hope, peace, and respect to all being. We request the audience to please join us in singing this Vayacha. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Shivam Dance Academy.
Well, this concludes the formal part of the evening. Hope you enjoyed the wonderful performances. Did you? A very special thanks to Bank of India, Bank of Baroda, 𝐿 International, India New Zealand Business Council INZBC, 𝐷𝐸𝐶o Consultancy, New India Assurance, Quality NZ and 𝐴CE Video Services, Mr. Naturama, for supporting us tonight. Please join us for some refreshments at the atrium prepared by Spice Traders and enjoy our Indian hospitality. Thank you all for coming today.